Hello, Spinny94 here, and today we're bringing you a Pokemon Wi-Fi battle. So we've got a nice OU battle here. I'm starting to get back into the swing of Pokemon battling, and of course I'm just chucking my OU powerhouse team in. So we'll just straight into this match and see how we get along. So he leads off with his Landorus, and I'm going to lead off with my Breloom. And of course he's kind of got the matchup he wants here, but I'm just going to go straight for a Spore. So he does go for the U-turn, obviously faster than us. I'm thinking it's one of those scarfed ones, because that's usually a common set on Landorus. And he's... pardon me, and he decides to go into his Buckeye, which is his Featherthorn, and he takes that Spore nicely. So really good predict on his part, because he could have predicted the fighting move, or whatever like that. So I decide to go into my Dragonite here, as he wants to set up his own Stealth Rocks, and I'm like, okay. But I go straight for the superpower here, and absolutely destroy this Featherthorn. Banded Dragonite is something you don't want to mess with, but I've got a feeling this thing wasn't a completely defensive investment set, maybe quite a bit in special defenseman and just using it, you know, natural deterrent of Rocky Helmet and Iron Barbs to try and ward people off. So he goes back into his Landorus here and he's just going to intimidate us, so I'm going to switch out here and go into my Pretty Boy here. You know, Pretty Boy, I didn't think Pretty Boy had served too well in this match, but he goes for the knockoff. Which is a shame because it does knock off Pretty Boy's leftovers, but of course I've got the advantage of one because these things have good the best special defences. As he goes into his Chansey, which is a Sweet Stopper, but I did predict the switch and I wanted to set up a Wish. The plan is now basically switch out. I go into my Breloom here, who's gonna be able to take cough. I didn't, even if Chansey went for a Seismic Toss, I wouldn't have been able to kill my Breloom from here. So I get poisoned, which Breloom isn't too bothered about. If it's a sweeper, I don't mind getting poisoned by this thing, which is a shame because I kind of wish I had Poison Heal. But obviously, one of the Technician set, is awesome. So I switches into his Landorus here, and since I didn't put anything to sleep before, I am able to go straight for the Spore here and put this thing asleep. So with this Landorus asleep here, I'm just going to start taking poison damage, and I'm just going to try and start getting damage on here. But he does switch out, I believe, and I believe I do predict him to switch out, but not into the Chansey for obvious reasons. I can't remember what I predicted him to switch into, but I wanted to go into my Dragonite here. So I go into my Dragonite, and of course that's going to scare this Chansey right out as he does go into the Landorus here. And this was quite a big bit in the match because I go straight with the Dragon Claw here, and even after that Intimidate I get a critical hit and completely destroy this thing. So it's probably one of the Scarfed sets because a defensive set I believe could have even taken a crit. So he goes into this Brave Birding annoyance here, and of course he's going to use this thing's only move. I don't care what it's got. It hasn't got Flare Blitz, it hasn't got U-turn. All these things just have Brave Bird, nothing but Brave Bird. Apart from the odd bulk up one which I verse, and it's like, you know, variety, yay! I get a verse a variety of them. So he goes into his Turtle Tank here, which is yeah, good standard here for a Blastoise. I go straight into my Thunder Wave here, as I was bringing the Anger on to block that Brave Bird as before. So I get the Thunder Wave on here, and this thing's looking a lot less intimidating with the Thunder Wave on. So he goes for the Mega Revolution here, because I think it's the only Pokemon that could Mega Evolve in his team, and I do use a Mega Blastoise, so I know that these things are kind of capable of. So he goes for the Aura Sphere, which would have completely destroyed Bazooso, so I'm so glad I switched out there, didn't want to take any risks. So I'm just going to stay in, set up the Wish, as he's also going to stay in and go for the Water Pulse here, but being into Sylveon, I'm going to be able to take out Water Pulse, not as well as I thought, I must admit, as I go for the Protect, and I'm just going to, you know, get my health back, as I didn't particularly want to switch into anything at this time, and Pretty Boy, you know, needs his health back, he needs his health back. So he goes into his Sweep Stopper again, as I'm, of course, just going to go straight for the Hyper Voice here, and that's going to do absolutely nothing to this thing, because chances are incredibly bulky. As I'm going to switch into my Bazooso here, because I do predict the Toxic to come my way, and he goes for the Heal Bell. So fully supportive set, so I'm pretty thinking okay, the attacking moves, they mightn't even have any. Toxic might be the only way to whittle things down. So it goes into his Bolt here, and as I set up my own Stealth Rocks, and I'm kind of wishing I went for the EQ, because that would have completely wrecked this Jolteon, but what are you going to do? Stealth Rocks would have been useful at this time to get rid of that Brave Birding thing when it comes back in. So I go into my own Special Defensive Wall, as the thing goes for a Shadow Ball here, which, I don't know, a Thunderbolt would have been a better option, but he probably could have predicted the Donphan to come in. As he goes for 2 Shadow Bolts in a row, and I get 2 Special Defense drops in a row. So, you know, it kind of evens it back for that critical hit. So, another Shadow Ball, poor Pretty Boy is going to go down to this poor Jolteon, so maybe a Spect set, I don't know, I think Spect would have done a bit more damage, as I'm going to go into my Shroom here, as Shroom is just going to go straight to the Mach Punch, completely destroy this thing. So yeah, the Breloom might be an OU, but a lot of people don't know how to take on a Breloom, I've noticed, or at least on Wi-Fi battle anyway. I'm assuming Showdown's a completely different world, but Wi-Fi you can get away with using a Breloom and catching people off guard. So I go for the Spore here, as I'm just wanting to try and get this thing asleep here. Got, you know, with the Landorus dead, I believe I can go for the Spore now. So with this thing asleep and I'm taking poison damage, I'm just going to go straight for the Mach Punch here. That does a good chunk of damage to this Chansey, but unfortunately it does wake up and it goes for the soft boiled. So we're going to play the stall game, unfortunately, as I'm just going to keep getting poisoned and I'm just going to get whittled down. Yeah, I'm just going to essentially get whittled down. So I'm just going to go for the Spore again to put this thing asleep. I'd prefer this thing asleep rather than awake. Have some kind of status on this thing would be nice, as of course I'm getting poisoned again. So I go for the Mach Punch here, but he makes a smart play of switching out into his turtle tank. Ooh, pardon me, God, I've got quite a bit of indigestion today. Who is just going to be able to take that Mach Punch to the face and, you know, not care too much. Because Blastoise, bulky Pokemon. I mean, I use the max health, max attack, max special attack set. Anyway, so in comes the deciding moment. I know he's going to switch as soon as he sees the Alakazam fearing an Energy Ball. But I'm just going to use this moment in time to, of course, set up a Calm Mind here. And this is why Alakazam's a really good Pokemon Cuff. I set up the Calm Mind, max special attacks increased, special defense. I go for the Psyshock here, thinking it would kill, but of course it doesn't kill, but he goes for the Toxic here, so that was probably his only attacking move. But obviously Alakazam has Magic Guard, doesn't care about that Toxic at all, and I'm able to go for another Psyshock, and basically from here I'm able to do a good chunk of damage to his team. I mean, he brings in his Kamikaze again, but Stealth Rocks is going to absolutely wreck that thing. And I think he predicted a switch cover the Priority Brave Bird, and I'm not sure what he's going to go for here. I mean, I would have went for the Roost, but never know. So I'm able to take it down with the Psyshock, and essentially that's the match, as I'm able just to sweep up my Alakazam. So thank you all for watching. I hope you'll consider liking, subscribing, all that good stuff. And basically, I hope you will have a nice day.